Thank you and good afternoon. I regret that we allotted only 2 hours for this. Clearly, the discussions could have gone on a lot longer. I rate these programs according to the volume of notes I take. And I was furiously taking notes. And let me just outline for you the notes I did take. From the Deputy Governor, clearly our regulators' belief in shared value, the fact that policies are supportive of shared value, and the importance of partnerships between the government and the private sector. From Sam Moore of Community Bank, the fact that business needs successful communities and vice versa. From Ms. Kenzel of the Grameen Foundation, the importance of the smooth shift from community to commercial being critical, that sustainable innovation is not a quick win, and the importance of carefully cultivating multi-stakeholder engagements. And from Mr. Datta of Rabobank, when he said it's about how you earn your money, not how you spend it, I took that down. That was very important. And that financial inclusion starts with savings and not credit, I also took that down. And I wrote here and circled, he mentioned agri-financing is very risky, and yet Rabobank is one of the very few AAA rated financial institutions in the world. You know, classical literature has not been kind on banks. All one has to do is recall the quote from Hamlet, neither a borrower nor a lender be, or the description of the lenders in The Merchant of Venice. And you know that classical literature hasn't been kind of banks. And yet you look at the red book that we distributed this morning, the first book on sustainable development, and if you were to read that carefully, you'd realize we've come a long, long way. For us as a bank, we marshal a lot of resources. We have somewhere well in excess of 55 billion in annual revenues. And how we take that money and spend it is important, to your point, Mr. Datta. We make well over 300 billion in incremental loans every year to grow a loan book the way we've grown it. And who we lend to, how we allocate those scarce resources will very much determine and help how this economy develops. And we take those lessons from this session today. Let me just end by quoting from our little notebook that we distributed, a quote that I think should have a lot of meaning for all of us in this room. And this is from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he says, "The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference if you have lived and live well." With that, thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good afternoon.